Boy, I just shut my video off. I guess I'm doing part 2. So, it's bigger than St. Jude's Chapel. This chamber inside the Wonder Cave. And in here, maybe you can't see too well, you have St. Jude and St. Joseph on the right. You have Our Lord up there. And then you have Teresa Lisieux. When I was engaged after college, after the military, my girl broke my heart. She left me, and that was really hard. I felt pretty rejected. And this is where I spent my summer. And I did a novena to Teresa Lisieux, and I did not know this picture was in there. And I wept in there. I was 26 years old. I was just really having a hard time with the breakup. I mean, we were together for 3.5+ years, and it's what it is. It's part of life. And so I thought to share. I thought to show you the Rudolph Grotto. I'm going to go to the top. I can't go in the cave, but might as well do part 2 here. That's where the cave entrance is. My grandparents, especially my grandfather. Oh, it is open. The lights aren't on though. It's original. All this is. Oh, it is locked. But yeah, you go in there and it is an adventure. A 5th mile, and there is actual 26 different shrines inside of it. What I want to bring your attention to is this tree. This tree is the miracle tree. No one knows how it got here. No one knows who planted it, if anyone did. But it is a rare tree that's from the Middle East. And you can see all of these thorns. This tree is not unique or native to this part of the world, yet this tree grew here. Obviously it's very big and old, but it's been here for about 100 years plus, I think. No one can explain how the thorn tree, everyone calls it, it's called something else, got here. Yeah, I used to have to weed through this stuff and yeah, let's check out the this is the back side of Grotto Gardens, and that's the old convent, and then this is the back side of the new welcome center. It's very nice. The Marian family donated that from Rudolph, and I'm gonna go up the exit, but that's okay. No one's gonna tell me what to do. And we just redid these steps, well, actually 15 years ago, but this has all been replaced. And there's Teresa Lisieux again. She's everywhere. So I'm going the back way, but here's the penitent. And that is where it comes out. And then when you come out of the cave down here, you follow this way. It's the old sundial that Philip Wagner made. It actually works. And here is a shrine to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I spent a lot of time here. This is you get above ground view of everything, and again all the flowers and foliage and everything. It's been here almost 100 years, and we're still going strong. You get a good view of the whole grotto. This is where I would go up. I'd go up that way. Go up there, and then I would haul buckets, 5-gallon buckets. That's what I would do. They don't even put stuff up here anymore. They used to put flower beds up here too, but looks like sometimes they this late in the fall they rip stuff out. There's another one of Our Lord in the Garden of Gethsemane, I think. That's where we'd play sports, where we did our school Fayed. Played baseball. I accidentally did a cartwheel, and my feet, I wasn't thinking. I was so happy I hit a home run that I ran smack dab into her. That was not my best moment. Garden Delights, the Guardian Angel shrine. And you go down here, there's also just little nooks and crannies. Philip Wagner brought all this rock in, old school, by cart, and they used strange, they didn't have big cranes and different heavy equipment to haul all this rock. It was all hauled by hand, mostly. I mean, some of the bigger stuff, yes, but it was animals and just a lot of unique old school ways of construction. Turn of the century construction. I can't remember all the details, but apparently it was a lot. He had old school ways of bringing in the rock and setting it up here, etc. He had a lot of people helping him, a lot of pulleys, and all kinds of things like that they, how did they build cathedrals in the 16th century? He used some of that technology to haul all this rock up. I mean, that had a big impression on me when I learned her as a priest. I was like, geez, if this guy's love for the Blessed Mother is, he's willing to build an enormous 15+ acre grotto, where's my devotion, And that kind of got me thinking. There is something I want to show is, there's the other end of the stations. There's one last shrine over there. I'm not going to go over there because I got to go back, but there is a huge rock. Oh, maybe you can go over there. I got to go a long way. There's a big rock back there, and it is called the Rabbit Rock. And the story goes that Father was out rabbit hunting, and he tripped. I don't know if it was in the snow or what, but he tripped on a rock. And it was, like one of these typical rocks you see, big, they were everywhere. They've all been cleaned out. There's only one farm that has a little bit of the rocks left, but they use them for a silo on their farm. It's about 3 miles west from here. See how much, inside there is an enormous structure, a cave. It's crazy. So he stumbles on this rock and he's like, oh, I'm gonna take one of these to the grotto. And then he's digging around it and he realizes it's kind of a big rock. And so he keeps digging and digging and digging. Well, lo and behold, the rock is bigger than he realized, but he had to have it. And there's a whole piece in the museum about him getting this rock and the equipment he used to get it out, to dig it out. It was pretty big. I mean, I don't remember how much the tonnage is, but it's pretty big. For the last 100 years, the parishioners of St. Philip's would gather here and do their church picnics. People from all over would come, all over the state, dance. They'd have dances, they'd have mass, and they'd Polish, polka dances, and you name it. But this rock is called the Rabbit Rock. And the Rabbit Rock, I don't know, it's 18 tons, I don't know what it is. It's so much tonnage that it was crazy. He dug that out after stumbling upon it, rabbit hunting. And we as kids would jump up there, all the time. We would actually jump up way up there. And we do the Pledge of Allegiance there. Who does the Pledge of Allegiance anymore? That's a problem. If we want our kids to understand what being patriotic is, we gotta teach them when they're younger to say the Pledge of Allegiance. It's a pledge for a reason. Every other nation has their pledge and their song and, their national anthem. That's just a very national thing to do. It's not fascist. I think people who are saying that are just delusional. They don't really, they're angry. But yeah, this is a neat little place. I think I kissed a few girls down here. Pretty certain I kissed quite a few girls down here, because it's kind of hidden. I was that kid. They're the ones who asked, so I'm like, okay, I don't know. That's this is where I grew up. This is my home. And out there is where my mother's buried. And at lunch sometimes I would come out here and I'd go visit her grave. It was very strange being, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 years old. In band, no parents. Boy Scouts, no parents, no father. Grandparents really weren't that involved. They were, but they weren't like parenting as a parent. They were just kind of do whatever you want kind of grandparents, which I actually liked. But they kept me in line. But yeah, my parent, the only one I knew, was out here. And I didn't even know she died. When she died, they didn't tell me. I didn't understand where she went. I thought she took off. I thought she abandoned me. Because she did in the past. She abandoned me a couple times when I was younger, so I was kind of used to that. She had struggles, and we all do. But it wasn't until I was in 4th grade, and it was May 13th, and my grandmother was the cook for the school, and this is where Philip Wagner's buried. They made a nice memorial here for him. Someday, I would like to be buried not here. Also not by my mother, which is right there. I would actually like to be buried in front of St. Philomena's. If anyone ever hears this video and I die somehow, maybe I'm martyred on Cross Mountain, who knows, I'm just joking. But yeah, I'd like to be buried in a mausoleum like that, above ground, marble, and right in front of St. Philomena's, so that when people come visit me, they'll also remember St. Philomena, who is a dear, dear saint of mine. She is my, she's just a profound influence, but also friend, protector. In exorcism, she's very powerful. I spent a lot of my childhood out here too, playing taps. I was a trumpeter. Yeah, right next to the Olsons and Milkies is my family. Oh, they just had it washed. It used to be pretty gray and cruddy. But that's where my family plot is. And on the other side is my mother. So this is Mom. And there is my name, and my sister and my brother. And yeah, so I've spent a lot of days right here kneeling, crying, laughing, drinking. This is where I went throughout my childhood when, gosh, I'm shaking. So yeah, when you lose a parent when you're that young, things happen, or at least to me it did. And I don't know, something snapped in me. My brain just kind of went to another place, and I was out of control. I was 6, 7. I mean, it was pretty crazy. I have a lot of memories of it. But one thing I do remember is some kind of loss, a death of some sort. I don't know. But when I was in 4th grade, it wasn't until my 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Abadaris, she sat me down and she's like, this was the first time anyone ever noticed what's going on with me. She's like, are you okay? And that was the first time anyone asked. And 4 years. Not even my grandparents. I didn't know where my mom went. They said she died, and I didn't understand what that meant at 5. I was 6 years old. It was a couple weeks before my 6th birthday. And then a couple years went by, and I just waited for her to come home. And then years of that led to anger, and then that's when I got out of kind of control. And I think it's natural. 4th grade, I was asked, and I just said to the teacher, I was kind of mad when she asked me, because I'm like, finally, someone has asked me if I'm okay, because of course I wasn't. All of a sudden I was in a different world, and no one had answers. No one explained to me that this is, I never was at the funeral. They didn't even allow me at the funeral. I wish they would have at least let me be there so I could comprehend and process that she had died and that she's underground, because when I was 10, I was 91, I was 10. and my grandmother was here. It was for her birthday, May 13th, Fatima Day. And it just clicked, and I wept. I broke down. You couldn't hold me. I broke down and fell over. My grandmother finally like hugged me. And it was the first time she ever hugged me. Before she did, but I didn't understand. Like, she was hugging me to comfort me, but I wasn't upset. I wasn't grieving. I didn't know what to grieve. I didn't even know why everyone else was crying. So yeah, it was a very weird world growing up. And then 5th grade was terrible. God, bullies suck. 6th grade was better. Mrs. Bain, she was amazing. And then 7th, 8th grade, I really snapped out of it. And it wasn't until high school I started getting arrested for stuff. Apparently, you're not supposed to break into cars. No one told me that. But yeah, I turned my life around after freshman year, and that's when it stopped. I started getting A's and B's instead of C's and D's, but this is where I spent my childhood, and it had a lot to do with my vocation. So I thought to share the most precious place for me is this place where my mother is buried, a family plot, and the place that I was raised in. It takes a village to raise me, and this was the village. I hope you enjoy this video. Enjoy both parts. Subscribe, like, and I will always be praying for those who subscribe. As a priest, I will be praying each Mass for my subscribers, my followers, and my daily prayers, my rosaries, my devotions. God bless all of you, and I will see you at Mass.